I built a digital product business that makes 20K months while I work about 20 hours a week. But not by following standard industry advice. Post 3 times a day. Copy every trend until you go viral. Call DM strangers until your thumbs fall off. Buy every single $500 course that promises to crack the code for you. Trust me, I did all of that. If you're a coach, creator, or business owner stuck in inconsistent 3 to 5K months, juggling underpriced offers, winging your sales, posting non-stop, and still wondering why nothing clicks, you know exactly how draining this feels. I've been in your exact shoes because that was me January 2024. I had made exactly $0 from digital products. I was trying to resell courses I didn't create, copying big creators, buying random templates, spending hours every night cold messaging strangers, and praying that something would finally click. And you know what? Something did. In a span of only 12 months, in January 2025, I went from making $0 to 20K in 1 month, working about 20 hours a week. I had quit my corporate job 3 months before. I knew exactly who I was targeting, a clean offer, a simple ecosystem, and a roadmap that actually worked. Some weeks were packed with client calls, some weeks were gym sessions and beach walks. Some weeks I did absolutely fuck all. And the money still flowed. This work-life balance was something that I truly craved for. I wanted to travel the world instead of feeling confined to one place just because of a job. By the way, what clicked for me wasn't luck. And this is the part where everybody gets it wrong. While the internet screams more products, more reels, more offers, more stories, more funnels, more hustle, I said, no, let's do it smart. That's the broke way. What worked is doing less, but done properly. One signature offer, identity-led content, a simple trust path, clean buyer-led sales, and leverage over hours. It was because I started building my business like a smart girl actually would, with strategies, frameworks, systems that take the chaos out of scaling your business. It's a method that took me from broke and burnt out to 20K months working part-time hours. And it's what my clients use to escape plateau purgatory to double, triple, even quadruple their monthly revenue without any of the bullshit. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know who I am. You know I don't do the fluff. I'm too smart for that, and so are you. And this all lets me live a life-first business, moving countries, sipping sangria after a morning strategy call, and finally enjoying what I do for work again. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching the Smart Girl method. Because once you build smart, you stop chasing hustle for hustle's sake, and you start building a business that gives you freedom, options, and fun. Before I explain how this method works, let me walk you through the 5 life philosophies that I live by that sit at the heart of this entire model. Because the strategies I'm about to share only work if you live by the philosophies that are behind them. Otherwise, you end up slipping right back into chaos and wondering why nothing sticks. The first one is simple: life first, business second. If your business feels like a second full-time job, congratulations. You've just hired yourself as your own worst boss. That was me back in corporate, and that was also me when I was reselling other people's products. Both of them felt like cages. What I wanted was a business that truly gave me freedom. The freedom to quit my job, to move countries, to travel the world, and actually enjoy my life while still making an income. The second philosophy, taking action is key. Smart girls don't wait around for perfect timing. We move, we test, we learn. Messy action beats analysis paralysis every time. When I only had $2,000 in my account, I didn't wait for the stars to align. I invested in myself, built something of my own, and kept moving even when it felt freaking terrifying. And that's why I'm here today. Third, staying authentic to yourself. I don't believe in fake it till you make it. I believe in owning it while you're building it. Your full personality is your edge. It's your superpower. And if they don't vibe with you, great. They can go on Instagram and pick from one of the 10,000 cookie cutter coach creators clogging up Instagram. That's exactly why I ditched reselling. It wasn't me. It was icky. It was copy paste. And I'm not here to live someone else's recycled life. Now the fourth philosophy. Be prepared to fail fast and to fail often. Failure is not scary. Get that out of your brain. Freddy Krueger is scary. This is not scary. What's scary is wasting years doing nothing just because you're afraid to fail. Every flop gets you to learn from your mistake faster, so you don't do dumb shit like that again. My first business was actually a total flop. It took me 2 years of investing over $35,000 in products and courses before I finally had to cut my losses. Instead of choosing to let it piss me off and rage quit, I decided to take all of that experience, knowledge, skills, and clarity, turn it into a digital business that pays me more in a month than that brand ever did for me in 2 years. And finally, the last philosophy: play big, play different. You don't hit 20K months by blending in. You don't scale by being a recycled someone else. You get there by risking it for the biscuit, by standing out, and by building something extraordinary. That's what I did when I built this brand. Sharp, witty, identity-driven. I didn't play small, and I sure as hell don't let my clients play small either. As Rihanna, the queen, once said, well-behaved bitches seldom make history. So these 5 philosophies are the backbone of everything I do. And they should be yours too for the method to work. They are what keeps my business lean, profitable, and fun. And that's why I get to run a business that actually funds my life instead of eating it alive. But I don't just say this stuff because it looks good on the carousel. I say it because I've lived it and it works. Not that long ago, I was stuck in inconsistent under 5K months. Some months I'd scrap together 2K and some months literally nothing. I was hustling like mad, glued to my phone, feeling like if I stopped posting or stopped DMing, everything would collapse. My income became dependent on how active I was. That's not passive income. And this was all while I was working my regular job. I truly felt like I was drowning. Fast forward to now, I'm bringing in 20K months while working about 20 hours a week. And the best part is my business actually feels good to run. I'm not shackled to it. I've built something that lets me travel, move countries, live life on my own terms with options, and still know that the money is coming in. And it's not just me. The women I work with are stepping into this too. Take Jess, one of the badass ladies I've had the pleasure of working with. She's a Christian entrepreneur, a stay-at-home mom juggling a part-time work with the vision and the boys, but zero systems, zero funnel, and no idea how to turn it all into consistent income. Once we worked together, we got clear on her offer, built her a simple funnel, tightened her systems and operations, and dialed in on her content so that she showed up as an authority in her field. She went from 0 to 10K and then 20K, all in the span of 4 months. For her, it was the freedom to run school pickups and drop-offs, spending time with her kids, financially contributing to her family so they didn't have to rely on just her husband's income. And now she gets to do all of this because of her business. And she's not the only one. I've had clients come to me stuck at 3 to 5K months for what felt like forever. Hustling, undercharging, and stuck in that messy middle. And when we cleaned up their offers, built them a simple ecosystem, and gave them the structure that they were missing, suddenly they weren't just making sales. They were scaling big and seeing real change to their revenue. Most importantly, they weren't chained to their laptops 24/7 in order to make it happen. This is the kind of proof that I care about. Not vanity metrics, not look at me, I went viral, not burning out chasing views. Actual businesses, actual income, and a lifestyle that makes you feel alive, not burnt out. Here's the thing, I don't want to just throw random steps at you and go, there you go, figure it out. And for you to really get it, I need to give you the full picture. Because I didn't just wake up one day and have it all figured out. So here's how this video is going to roll. First, I'm going to take you back to where I started. Broke, burnt out, and stuck. So you can see exactly how I came to the conclusions I did and why I built the system I now use with my clients. Then I'll break down the actual framework I built my business on, the exact process I used to scale from inconsistent under 5K months to 20K months while working part-time hours. And finally, I'll show you how all of this ties together into a way of running your business that feels sustainable, scalable, and fun to live inside of. That's what we're unpacking today. So let's rewind and go back to the start. I've always been ambitious, like fresh out the womb ambitious. My mom had me and I was pretty much like, hey, cool mom, I've got it from here now, but maybe feed me first though. Jokes aside, I've grown up always knowing that I had a penchant for problem solving. I love looking at concepts, theories, ideas, unpacking them and offering solutions or ways to improve it or make it more efficient. When I went to university, I studied a Bachelor of Arts with a triple major in politics, philosophy, and economics. Then I went on to do a master's. On paper, I was a perfect corporate girl. My ambition led me to think that I'd climb the ladder, land that big corner office, and be that big boss-ass bitch in heels. But about a few years in, I realized that corporate life was just same shit, different toilet. You start a new job, get excited about the opportunity and the newness of it all, but then it fades like all shiny new things. Then it's back to answering micromanaging managers. Like, why the fuck do they exist? Why is there always one micromanager every single job? Is that like a prerequisite at companies? And being in back-to-back Teams meetings, that shit gives me PTSD. Also, and hate heels. They're designed to make a woman's butt look smaller. 10 out of 10 if you got that reference. So I started researching and trying out businesses on the side. Drop shipping, Etsy, transcription services, print on demand. That last one, I poured everything into it for over 2 years. That was the one that I invested $35K in. I learned digital marketing, ads, social, branding, and I was grinding on it while I was working a full-time job. But then I got made redundant. I lost my corporate job. I lost my stable income. And without that income, I couldn't keep reinvesting into my business. I had to shut it down, which left me broke. Like, 2K to my name broke. That was a low point. I was jobless, hardly any savings. And then, because Instagram always knows when you're vulnerable, I stumbled across a lady claiming that she had made $50K in 3 months reselling digital products she didn't create. It sounded too good to be true, so I pondered about it. I researched it for 3 whole months, thinking, do I do it? Do I not do it? Before I finally caved in and I gave it a go. I was already kind of desperate, so it was my Hail Mary. The thing about not having much to lose is that you don't have much to lose. It was an MRR course called The Roadmap. OGs, you'll know this one. Very quickly, I was swept up in the whole resale rights thing. MRR, PLR, all of that reselling hype. And I'll be real with you, I hated it. It felt spammy, scammy, and like the blind leading the blind. Selling $500 courses so that people can just resell them again? Just for that purpose?
WTF?
No one cared about what this course could actually do for them, which is to learn real life business skills so they can create a business in any niche. But that wasn't what people were doing. They were buying it just to resell it, using the narrative of buy it to sell it on. It wasn't me. I felt like a fraud. But, and this is important, so turn the volume up. Reselling someone else's product is actually putting you in a tight corner. While many businesses can scale to 20, 50, even 100K months, simply reselling means that you have no control over your product. Riddle me this. How do you improve a product that isn't yours to improve? What happens when the original creator of said product chooses to pull it from the market? In fact, I've seen this happen to a ton of ladies, which means that their business stops entirely. Lastly, and here's the kicker, so make sure your closed captions are on too. Reselling someone else's product creates no customer loyalty. It's like being a certified Apple reseller. You think someone who's happy with their iPhone thinks about that random electronics store they got it from?
Who are you?
Hell no. Nah, mate, they're thinking about how good Apple is. Brand loyalty is incredibly important in building and scaling any business. On top of these hot facts, I realized 2 things. 1, I have way more value to give than just reselling someone else's product. And 2, I was never going to succeed copying someone else's formula. This was the moment where I was like, okay, no more dumb bitch moves. Let's do this the smart way. So in February 2024, I created my own digital product. A course built on everything I'd learned from years of failing, testing, and building. In 4 months, I went from $0 to 25K. And the best part is, I loved it. It felt aligned with me. I was genuinely serving people shit hot value, and selling felt good. And that course didn't just make me money. It built a kick-ass community of smart, ambitious women from all over the world who are simply done with playing small and trying to blend in with everyone else. More and more women started asking me for coaching, for one-to-one help. And I realized, this is it. This is what lights me up. Helping women like me build businesses that aren't just profitable and sustainable, but fun to run and lights up their soul. I decided to teach other ladies how to do it too. And this method eventually evolved into the framework that I have today. I launched my method and program in August 2024, signed up with 2 ladies in July before it even officially launched, hit 6K the next month in September, and the very next month, more than tripled it to a 20K month. Oh, and by the way, I was working 9 to 5 while hitting these figures. This very same month in October, I made the decision to quit my corporate job. I decided to go all in and finally actualize the life that I had been manifesting for ages. I packed up everything. I bought a one-way ticket. I went on a 6-week long trip with my best mate all around Europe. Eventually, I decided to base myself in Spain, and now I run my business in about 20 hours a week. Some days I'm coaching, some days I'm sipping sangria by the beach, and some days I'm doing sweet fuck all. And that's the whole point. I built this business to be mine, to give me freedom, opportunity, and choice. But I don't want this to just be a cute little inspirational story you listen to while sipping your overpriced matcha. I want you to see how I actually did it, step by step, because this wasn't just luck, and it sure as hell wasn't manifestation without action. And it's incredibly doable. I built a system, a framework, something that takes all of the chaos, all of the spaghetti throwing, all the endless hours on Instagram, and turns it into consistent, scalable results. Here's what we're going to break down. First, how I carved out my own lane with one clear signature offer that positioned me as a go-to. Second, how I crafted a bingeable brand by showing up like the heroine of my own story. Third, how I built trust and authority so that clients felt like working with me was a no-brainer. Fourth, how I started feeling so aligned with my sales that I closed with confidence instead of chasing, instead of cold DMing. And finally, how I scaled it all sustainably so I didn't just build another full-time job for myself. That's the exact framework that I use to go from plateauing at under 5K months to those 20K months with my business working for me and not the other way around. And it's the same framework my clients use to go from stuck and scattered to structured and scaling. So let's break it down. Okay, first things first, you've got to claim your corner. Here's what most people are doing wrong. They're juggling 6 different unfinished baby offers, listing 10 products on their stand store, which is too many, by the way, winging it with their clients and posting random tips, hoping something sticks. Their business looks more like a buffet table. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they wonder why nobody sees them as the go-to. If you're offering everything, you're known for nothing. That was me too when I was reselling low-ticket digital products. My income was all over the place. Some months it was a couple of grand, some months it was all in the hundreds. Why? Because I didn't have a clear offer, I didn't own a lane, and I sure as hell wasn't positioned as an authority figure. I was just another girl who created an Instagram and called it a business. So here's a smarter way. You carve out your lane and build one signature scalable offer. This is the thing you become known for. It's what reinforces your messaging, your positioning, and your authority. And once you have that, you don't feel like a copycat or an imposter anymore. You feel like the expert. Why? Simply because if you've carved out your own corner, You have differentiated yourself almost immediately. No one can compete with you if you can't have competition, you know? Know what I'm saying? And here's the kicker. This isn't just about strategy. It's also about your mindset. Because let's be real, most people don't sell their offer with confidence because deep down they don't believe in it themselves. That's why part of claiming your corner is also rewiring your inner game. When you back yourself fully, your audience does too. So if you've been plateauing, drowning in your DMs, feeling like another face in the crowd, this is your first move. Claim your corner, build one binge-worthy offer, and step into being the authority people want to buy from. Synergistically, we're also going to be working on your mindset, perspective, and inner self so that you're not just stepping into authority, you are becoming said authority. Boom, bitch. This is you. Said authority. She's all authority. She's Rihanna, bitch. Once you've claimed your corner, the next step is this. You've got to be the heroine of your own story. And people need to see you as such. Here's a mistake I see all the time. People think content is just about pumping out tips, trends, templates. You know the ones, the copy-paste carousels, the 5-second reels with stock audio, or the 3 tips to boost engagement junk that clogs up everyone's feeds. That's shit I can chat GPT. Nobody's binging that. Nobody's buying from it either. What actually creates demand is you. Your story, your perspective, your authority, your edge. People don't follow you because you've got the best reel covers and the most aesthetic feed. They follow you because you show up with content that makes them think, makes them feel, and makes them trust you enough to buy from you. And that's what I call heroine content. It's not about being a faceless educator. It's about being the main character in your business. You are the heroine that your audience is rooting for. And they want to know how you did it so that they can see themselves doing it too. When I stopped hiding behind recycled trends and started actually sharing my story, the messy bits, the funny bits, the smart strategies I was testing in real time, that's when everything shifted. My content started becoming magnetic to the right audience I wanted to attract. I started getting DMs like these. And this isn't just theory, it works in practice. I had a client, Melody, who came to me with a big problem. She had an amazing product, but she was struggling to get it in front of people's eyes and grow it to more consistent revenue. We reworked her entire content strategy, branding, social media presence, and once we created her binge-worthy heroine content, suddenly her audience weren't just liking her posts. They were buying. So if your content feels like it's stuck in copycat land, here's the shift. Stop trying to jump on every single trend you see online and start being the heroine. Share your story, build authority, create demand. That's how you turn random followers into take my money clients. Okay, so now you've claimed your corner and you started showing up like the heroine of your story. It's not enough for people to just see you. They need a clear path to trust you and buy from you. This is where most people get stuck. They either post endlessly on their stories and pray someone magically buys from their link, or they go to the other extreme. They built some Frankenstein funnel with 27 steps, 14 email sequences, and ugly-ass landing page that looks like it was built in 2003 with clip art. Neither works. You may have heard of the term sales funnel, but I really want you to kind of see it as more of like a trust flow. It's not about spamming your DMs with cold pictures, and it's not about tricking people with scarcity countdown timers. It's about creating warm and natural pathways that move people from audience to trust to paying client. Here's how it looks like in practice. You show up with binge-worthy content, the heroine stuff we just talked about, and instead of leaving people hanging, you guide them into your world. Maybe that's a free training, a valuable freebie, or even just a simple landing page. The point is you're nurturing them, not shoving an offer down their throat. You gotta wine and dine them first. And when you layer in real buyer psychology, you start speaking to how your clients actually make decisions. Not by hammering them with formal tactics and fake urgency, but by showing them how you get their pain. You know their desires, and you've got a solution that will get them there. Let me give you an example. Betty here, she's the sweetest girl I've ever known. And when we started working together, she told me how much she hated selling. Here's where she went wrong. She's only ever known to sell by using pressure tactics and icky methods. I said to her, sales shouldn't feel hard. When you align with your offer, brand, messaging, the sales comes naturally. She was absolutely stoked to hear this because I was exactly the coach she was looking for. Someone could help her build a brand that was as true to herself as possible. And within the first week of implementing my method, she made her first high-ticket sale. So ask yourself this. Does your audience know how to go from liking your posts to paying you? Or are they stuck lurking on your content with no clue what the next step is? You could have the best offer in the world, the most magnetic content, and even the tightest, most optimized funnel. But if you can't bring in the sales, you're still stuck spinning your wheels, and the wheels are square. The trust flow funnel removes friction from the customer journey and makes the path from follower to client so smooth that it feels inevitable. Instead of forcing people through a clunky process, you're guiding them step by step. They see your content, they resonate, they engage, and then the next step is obvious. It's not about tricking anyone. It's about making it easier to say yes. When the flow is right, people aren't asking, why should I buy this? They're asking, when can I start? And that's why the next piece of the puzzle locks everything into place. Closing with confidence. And when I say close, I don't mean those gross Wolf of the Wall Street tactics. No fake scarcity, no manipulative bullshit, no bullying people into swiping their cards while you scream limited spots on your Instagram stories. You know what I'm talking about. That's not how a smart girl does business. Closing with confidence means you're not begging, you're not chasing, you're not getting ghosted in your DMs. Instead, you're making it so damn clear that your dream clients are asking you how they can work with you. When you're confident in selling, they're confident in buying. Have you ever purchased a pair of shoes because the shoe salesperson told you, oh, maybe you kind of look good in those shoes, but I'm not sure about the color? Yikes. Get out of that store real quick. Someone's not getting their commission. It's all about understanding buyer psychology and structuring your sales process so that it feels effortless for you and for them. You're leading with confidence, handling objections without second-guessing yourself, and positioning your offer as a no-brainer for them. Because here's what usually happens when people don't have this down. They pitch too soon, instant ghost because turn off. They over-explain and waffle. Client loses trust. You diminish your own authority because you look really confused. And they underprice. Client second guesses the value and shops elsewhere. The result? Endless conversations that go nowhere. Awkward sales calls that end with, I'll think about it. And way too much time wasted on people who are never going to buy from you in the first place. But when you flip it, when you know how to close like a smart girl, the energy shifts completely. You go from chasing to choosing. You go from clients slipping through your fingers to literally thanking you for existing. It's wild. And honestly, this is one of my favorite things to teach. Because once you get it, sales stop feeling scary. In fact, they feel freaking good. They stop being something that you dread and start being something that you actually enjoy. Because nothing feels more amazing than hearing, yes, I'm in, from a client that you truly, genuinely want to work with. Okay, so you've got the offer. You are showing up with authority content. You've built trust and you can close with confidence. Good on you, bro. Now comes the part most people never get to. Scaling without burning yourself the fuck out. Because let me tell you, if your business only works when you're glued to your phone, DMing like it's your full-time job, that's not freedom. That's a second job with worse hours and a shitty boss. And the shitty boss is you, by the way. This part is where we streamline offers, operations, funnel, delivery. So you can scale sustainably. I call it grow and glow because honestly, that's what it feels like. Your revenue grows, your life actually glows instead of shoveling up under burnout, stress, and running around doing busy work. The focus here is leverage. Instead of scaling through more hours, we scale through smarter systems. That means building retention into your office, creating upsell pathways, and increasing client lifetime value. It means having a nurture system that warms people up automatically so that you're not forever scrambling for the next lead. And the cherry on top, you design it around the lifestyle that you want. For me, that was a 20-hour work week, 20K months, and the freedom to pack up and move across the world. For you, maybe it's school runs without stress, quitting your job, weekends completely unplugged, or finally having the headspace to create new offers without drowning. The point is, scale doesn't have to mean sacrifice. That's the dumb bitch way of doing business. The smart girl way is building something that lasts, that supports your lifestyle, and actually feels good to run. So you're sitting there wondering, okay, this all sounds amazing, but where do I even start? Here's what I want for you to walk away with from this video. First, recognize where you are now. Are you still stuck in busy but broke mode, reselling products just for the sake of it and wondering why nothing is clicking? Or are you in the messy 3 to 5K plateau, working way too hard for way too little consistency? Wherever you are, clarity comes first. Second, nail one signature offer. Don't try to sell 12 different things at once. Create one binge-worthy premium offer that positions you as the go-to. Third, start creating content that actually builds authority instead of just adding to the noise. Talk about your opinions, your story, your clients. People don't buy from generic tip machines. They buy from humans they like and trust. Fifth, stop trying to duct tape 5 different funnels together. Build one simple ecosystem that moves people naturally from follower to client. And finally, remember that scaling isn't just about doing more. It's about doing it smarter. Put structure under your hustle so that your hard work actually compounds instead of evaporating the second that you stop posting. If you're stuck spinning your wheels at inconsistent 3 to 5K months, hustling for scraps, or wondering why your effort doesn't match your results, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you're trying to build your business the hard way. Or, sorry, the dumb way. You deserve a business that feels fun, profitable, and actually fits into your life. A business that funds your freedom instead of eating it alive. If this video gave you a new perspective or you learned something today, I want you to hit that subscribe and like button because I'm dropping more no bullshit, value-filled content like this frequently. And if you're done winging it alone and you want my eyes on your business, I open up a few spots each month for my one-to-one mentorship. Head over to Instagram, chuck me a follow, and then DM me keen, and we'll see if it's the right fit. Smart girls don't wait for permission. They just make the move. And they're unapologetic about it. So, if you're in, you know what to do.